Ends with a Mandalorian bounty hunter catching a bounty. After succeeding with his mission, he is then offered to do another job. Also, the Mandalorian has no name, so let's call him something that rhymes with Lando. Rando, Pando, Fernando. How about Mando? So Mando comes in to accept the job. An ex-Imperial officer gives him the mission of hunting down a 50-year-old target on a desert planet. So Mando arrives on the desert planet. Soon enough, he encounters a hermit known as Queel, who tells him about where the 50-year-old target can be found. I have spoken. Mando makes it to the location of the target, but it turns out he has some competition known as IG-11. Mando proposes that they should work together. Yeah, sure, okay, I'm cool with that. Eventually, they find the 50-year-old target, which turns out to be a baby version of Yoda. IG-11 was programmed to kill it, but Mando gets a bit soft, and he doesn't let that happen. He ends up taking the baby for himself, but when they get back to the ship, it turns out it was pilfered for parts. The Jawas that stole the parts say they will return them in exchange for an egg from a mudhorn. Egg! Mando goes off to fight the mudhorn, but he ends up in a lot of trouble. Luckily, Baby Yoda is there to help him by using the Force. Soon enough, they defeat the creature and they get the egg. Mando gives them the egg, and they return the parts he needs to get off the planet. Mando brings the baby to the ex-Imperial officer. He plans to use the baby for experiments. However, Mando feels bad and decides to betray the ex-Imperials. He comes in to save Baby Yoda, but bounty hunters try to stop him from escaping. Luckily for Mando, he gets some help from the people that raised him when he was young. The fighting is able to help Mando and Baby Yoda escape. This is the way! Mando and Baby Yoda end up at a village where they meet some villagers. Mando also meets Cara Dune. They don't get along at first, but they are able to become friends. The villagers tell Mando and Cara Dune about raiders attacking their village, and they need their help to stop them. Mando and Cara Dune are searching for the raiders, but they end up encountering an ATST. The village is able to fight back against the raiders, and they successfully destroy the ATST. Mando goes to Tatooine, where he meets a guy that's asking for his help to capture a bounty. Yeah, okay. They successfully capture the bounty, but Mando's transportation on the way over here was destroyed, so he leaves early. The bounty convinces her captor that he would be a much more successful bounty hunter if he goes after Mando, which he decides to do, but first this happens. He tries to defeat Mando, but it doesn't work out so well for him. Later on, Mando gets a job where he needs to rescue a prisoner from the New Republic, and he has to work with a team to do it. They successfully find the prisoner and rescue him. However, they end up imprisoning Mando because he was too soft. But Mando finds a way to escape and goes after his teammates. Mando gets paid for saving the prisoner and he leaves, but they secretly plan to destroy him. However, they didn't know that Mando left a tracking device behind, which got the attention of the New Republic to come after them. Mando and Baby Yoda are safe. But then they get a transmission about the town that Mando saved Baby Yoda from being invaded by more ex-Imperials, and they need his help to defeat them. So Mando enlists the help of Cara Dune along with Queel and a reprogrammed IG-11. No droids. They all meet up far away from the town. Greef Karga tells them about the situation. Mando suggests that Queel looks over Baby Yoda while him, Cara Dune, and Greef Karga all confront the ex-Imperial officer. They successfully take out the ex-Imperial officer, but it turns out there are more ex-Imperials waiting outside for them, and there's also another ex-Imperial officer known as Moff Gideon. Mando warns Queel about getting Baby Yoda back to his ship, but unfortunately it's too late because Queel is dead, and Baby Yoda has been taken. But luckily IG-11 comes in to save him. Mando and the others make it to the sewers hoping to find some allies to help them, but it turns out they're all dead. Well, except one of them. She tells them that ex-Imperials did this. She also tells Mando that since he's taking care of Baby Yoda, he should either be his official guardian or give him to the Jedi and let them take care of him. Mando also gets a new jetpack. This is the way. The group is planning to leave the sewer, but there are ex-Imperials outside waiting for them. IG-11 knows what to do, so he goes outside and self-destructs. Mando and his friends made it out, but they have a new problem as they have to deal with Moff Gideon. So Mando decides to take care of him. Greef Karga thanks Mando for his help, and he offers Mando to stay around for a little longer. Mando decides that he needs to worry more about the responsibility of Baby Yoda. Meanwhile, it turns out Moff Gideon survived, and he's a lot more of a serious bad guy than we thought. A mission to bring Baby Yoda to the Jedi, but first he has to find other Mandalorians. information out of one guy that he's meeting, but that doesn't work out so well. No. Until he uses a less civilized method of getting information. Fortunately, Mando is able to learn that there's a Mandalorian on Tatooine, so he goes to Tatooine with Baby Yoda in search of him. Mando makes it to a town known as Mos Pelgo, where he meets the Mandalorian he's looking for, except it turns out to be a ripoff known as Cobb Vanth. Mando is not pleased that a stranger is wearing Mandalorian armor that doesn't belong to him. However, they're able to work out a compromise. If Mando can help Cobb Vanth destroy a sand dragon, then he'll give him the armor. Deal. They also team up with Tusken Raiders, but they're having trouble getting along. I don't like you. Stop it. Once they get close to the sand dragon, they realize how dangerous it is, and that they're gonna need more help. After successfully teaming up with villagers, they eventually find a way to destroy the dragon once and for all. And Cobb Vanth gives Mando the armor as part of his promise. Mando and Baby Yoda leave in search of a new Mandalorian, but they also attract attention. Oh yeah, I am back. Mando has to look for a new Mandalorian, and fortunately he finds a frog lady who knows about where one is. But the catch is, he has to give her a ride there so then she can fertilize her eggs, but the problem is, he also can't use hyperspace or else they might die. Mando and Frog Lady are on their way to their destination, but then they get in trouble with an X-Wing, and then they end up crashing onto an ice planet. It seems like they're not going to be able to make it for a long time. At least they don't have to worry about feeding Baby Yoda. And they also encounter some spiders, but luckily they get some help with that. The X-Wing pilot is supposed to arrest Mando, but he decides to let him off the hook. Understandable. Have a nice day. After delivering Frog Lady to her destination, Mando meets up with other Mandalorians. However, they all take off their helmets, and he gets very suspicious of them. They mention that they are true Mandalorians and that what they do is the way, while Mando is the complete opposite. They also enlist his help in taking over an Imperial freighter, which he agrees to. They end up taking it over, and one of the Mandalorians, known as Bo-Katan, wants to know where the Darksaber is, which is a weapon that Moff Gideon has. You'll never take me alive! Mando is hoping to know about any Jedi that can train Baby Yoda, and Bo-Katan tells him where to find a Jedi known as Ahsoka Tano. However, before looking for Ahsoka Tano, he has to get the Razor Crest repaired on the planet Navarro. He also meets with his old friends, and they tell him about an Imperial base that they need his help in destroying.
Here we go again.
They head over to the Imperial base, and they are successful in destroying it.
Oh, that's hot.
And they have to fight their way out to escape. They also discover that their enemy has been working on cloning experiments. I wonder what this will be leading into. They escape the Imperial base, but they are not out of danger yet. Fortunately, the Razor Crest is repaired in time to save the day. Later on, Cara Dune gets hired to be on a spin-off show. To be deputized as part of the New Republic. Mando makes it to the city of Caladan, where he finds out that the villagers there are being treated terribly. He also meets the magistrate, and she promises that if he can kill the Jedi Ahsoka Tano, then he will be given a Beskar spear, which is a pretty big deal. Mando goes looking for Ahsoka, but she ends up finding him instead. Ow! After trying to train Grogu, which is actually Baby Yoda's real name, Ahsoka decides she cannot train him because of his attachment with Mando. Later that night, Mando and Ahsoka work together to liberate the village and free all the villagers. Ahsoka also confronts the magistrate. She ends up winning and demands to know where her master, Grand Admiral Thrawn, is. I wonder why that could be important. Ahsoka gives Mando the Beskar spear, and she tells him about the planet Tython, where there's a seeing stone that if Grogu is placed on it, then he can contact the Jedi. Mando places Grogu on the seeing stone on Tython, where he contacts the Jedi. He also encounters two strangers that came back from the dead. One of them wants the armor that Mando got on Tatooine because he is just a simple man trying to make his way into the galaxy just like his father before him, also because it belongs to him. However, some stormtroopers come to take Grogu, and Mando and his new allies are trying to prevent that from happening. Also, Boba Fett is able to get his armor back. Unfortunately, the Razor Crest is destroyed. And if you think that's bad enough, Baby Yoda also gets taken. His new allies promise to help him get Grogu back. Mando also comes for Cara Dune's help, and he plans to get Mayfeld out of prison because he is good with Imperial codes. The whole gang arrives on Morak, and Mayfeld talks about that in order to get the Imperial codes, your face has to be scanned. However, no one else wants to do it, so Mando has to go with Mayfeld. He does a face reveal in order to get the Imperial codes, and Mayfeld talks to one of his fellow officers, only for this to happen. After all of that, Cara Dune pretends that Mayfeld is dead so that he could go free. Mando goes for more help, and Bo-Katan joins, mostly so that she can get the Darksaber from Moff Gideon. Soon enough, Mando comes to save Grogu, but Moff Gideon is also there. He promises that if Mando leaves him alone, he can have Grogu, and Mando is okay with that deal. However, Moff Gideon tries to backstab him. Ow! That doesn't work out so well since he ends up getting caught. Mando tries to give the Darksaber to Bo-Katan, but since he won it in combat against Moff Gideon, he's now the rightful owner. You are mean! Just take it! However, Dark Troopers come to finish them, but luckily they are saved by the man, the myth, the legend! Some Jedi that is here to pick up Grogu. He looks very familiar for some reason. Mando realizes this is where he and Grogu have to part ways, so Grogu goes with the Jedi to be able to train more, and he has to say goodbye to Mando, at least for right now. Later
De Musca. Icha, a cookie.
taking a bath at the Polynesian spot, the Bacta tank, and he's reflecting on what happened when he was in the Sarlacc pit. He lost his armor and is a prisoner of the Tusken Raiders. However, he gets accepted by the tribe, and they allow him to be one of them. At Jabba's palace, well, now it's Boba's palace because he's taken over, he is planning to become a great ruler. He and Fennec Shand take a walk because walks are nice. Great idea for a ruler. Well, not really, because he gets attacked. They interrogate the attacker to find out who sent him. And then he gives up and tells them the mayor is the one who's behind it. Except it turns out the mayor of the town isn't really the one behind it. Jabba the Hutt's cousins confront Boba because they want their territory, and Boba is not letting that happen. Meanwhile, in the past, a train is causing trouble, and Boba Fett and the Tuskens have to do something about it. He teaches them how to ride a speeder, like a bantha. on, you didn't really think I wouldn't add that in there, would you? They head to the train, and they take it over. Boba confronts the Pikes, which were the ones operating the train, and tells them to get lost. Also, he gets a cool new weapon. Boba heads back to the Tusken Raider camp and finds out that his people are gone. And Boba is getting attacked by an intruder. They are successful in trapping the intruder. The cousins tell Boba that they instantly regret what they've done, and they decide to leave. Also, he is given a free Rancor as a pet. Boba allows the Wookiee that was sent after him to go free. He becomes really close with the new. They find out the mayor isn't there, and that war is coming with the Pikes because they want to take over their land. Boba ends up finding Fennec Shand in the desert and is able to help bring her back to life. And he also needs her help in getting his ship back, Slave 1. Pause the video. Uh-oh. Boba and Fennec Shand infiltrate the palace, and they take back what is theirs. They head back to the Sarlacc pit because Boba thinks his armor might be down there. They are mistaken in thinking that, and Boba realizes he might have to get a bath because Sarlacc pits are stinky, but not before he gets revenge on the people that he thinks are responsible for the Tusken Raiders' demise. In the present, Boba and Fennec realize they need muscle to take on the Pikes. Meanwhile, in another show, the next episode, the Mandalorian meets up with his group, and he shows them a Beskar spear. The spear is melted down and turned into armor for Grogu. Meanwhile, the Mandalorian uses the Darksaber and practices on another guy. The armorer questions if Mando ever took off his helmet, which he does not tell any lies. You are fired. You're out of here.
Am I?
Now that he's been kicked out, Mando goes to Tatooine for a new ship, and he ends up getting one. Fennec Shand comes by to hire Mando, but first he wants to visit Grogu. Mando makes it to Luke's new Jedi temple, where he meets Ahsoka, who tells him that Grogu is busy training with Luke. Mando leaves behind the armor so that Grogu may get it. Meanwhile, Luke is training Grogu while he gets excited about frogs. He continues to get more training. Luke and Ahsoka are in the same area. Mando comes to Mos Pelgo to ask Cobb Vanth to join him in fighting off the Pikes. He is most likely able to join. Until Cad Bane rolls into town. At the Jedi Temple, Grogu is given a choice, whether to become a Jedi or to go back with Mando. Talk about pressure. Everyone is held up in Mos Espa, where they have to confront the Pikes. However, Boba refuses to let the Pikes take over, and they end up fighting. Boba confronts Cad Bane, and he ends up in serious trouble. He is about to finish him off, but then Boba gets the upper hand. Boba Fett is victorious, and Cad Bane is dead. Or is he? What the? How did you? Alright, so Boba Fett has successfully saved Tatooine, and the Wookiee gets a